Welcome to the discussions organized by Smart-EDU Hub. Today we're doing a deep dive into Catalin Vrabie's article, the one titled Computer Competencies Necessary for an Effective E-Governance. Our mission, really, is to pull out the key insights. What knowledge, what skills, what behaviors do public servants and, well, all of us citizens need to really make digital government work.
Okay, let's unpack this. So first off, we all kind of expect instant access now, don't we? Government info, services, it feels like everything's moving online 24/7. The idea is getting citizens online instead of inline.
That's exactly right. And what's really fascinating here is how this digital shift goes way beyond just, fixing the back office stuff. It's actually changing how citizens and businesses interact with the government. We're moving from face-to-face meetings to these collaborative virtual things. And this whole evolution really highlights why IT competence, information technology competence is just so critical now.
Okay, so when Catalin Vrabie uses the word competence here, what's he actually getting at? What does that mean in this context? Well, he defines competence as the right mix, the right combination of knowledge, skills, and importantly, behavior. It's what allows an employee or even a whole group or organization to handle tasks properly. And the article argues pretty strongly that public servants are the main actors in dealing with this whole e-revolution.
Right. If public servants are central, then what specific IT skills does Vrabie say are non-negotiable for them?
He adapts this framework called Big Six, which is a pretty well-known model for information skills. And he stresses that public servants need intermediate skills, not just basic stuff. So this includes being really efficient with things like emails, online groups, handling e-documents inside their organization's network, task definition.
Okay, so defining the task. And what about actually finding and using information, not just the basic operations?
Exactly. They need solid skills in what he calls information seeking and location and access. That means knowing hardware, software, how to find data in, say, internal networks and external databases, and citing sources properly. Then there's use of information, being able to download, read, print, use word processors, spreadsheets, and really analyze and filter that information effectively for the job.
And putting it all together.
Yes, that's synthesis. Organizing your work, maybe presenting it using tables, charts, presentations, even web pages. And finally, evaluation. This is crucial. Being able to evaluate your own work and others too. Plus understanding netiquette, online etiquette, and paying attention to details like spelling is the final look.
Okay, that covers the public servant side. But e-governance needs citizens too, right? It's a two-way street.
Okay.
What does Catalin Vrabie say about what skills we need as citizens to interact properly?
Good question. For citizens, the focus shifts to essential basic skills. This means things like knowing a bit about computer hardware and software, how to manage files and folders, using icons and windows, creating simple documents, browsing the internet, using email, those core things.
So the fundamentals. And searching online.
Right. Seeking information effectively online is key. But also, and this is really important, understanding the risks involved. Like, how reliable is this information? What about viruses? Is my data secure? That kind of awareness.
So it's both the how-to and the be careful.
Precisely. And then there's e-participation. This is about confidently doing everyday stuff online. Paying bills, online banking, making reservations, filing your taxes online, joining discussion forums, but always being aware of the security risks while you do it.
This all sounds, pretty good in theory. But are there big hurdles? What challenges does the article point out in actually making this e-governance vision work?
Oh, absolutely. Big challenges. The article really highlights the digital divide. And it stresses that this isn't just about who has a computer or internet access. It's very much about the unequal development of the necessary skills. This skills gap, it directly limits how successful e-government programs can actually be.
I can definitely see that. And I imagine maybe older generations could find it particularly tough to adapt.
That's exactly what the source indicates. It points out that quite a few civil servants over 35, and even more so those over 45, really struggle with adopting new tech. They often sort of stick to the old bureaucratic ways, and this creates inflexibility in the organization, resistance to change, to innovation. The article even mentions some public managers who just refuse to read emails or work with a PC at all.
Wow. Okay, so given those barriers, especially the mindset thing, what's the way forward? How do we make e-governance actually effective?
The core message coming through is that information technology education is just paramount. It's fundamental. And while, giving money for computers might be expensive for governments, Providing IT education shouldn't be prohibitively costly. There are examples like the A Computer Per Family initiative in Italy, where families got funds for a PC and a free kit to build digital skills. It shows what's possible.
So it goes beyond just teaching the clicks and taps. It's about changing mentalities, too.
Exactly right. It's broader than just IT skills. It's about overall education and shifting those deeply ingrained ways of thinking. And another critical point, the success of e-government really depends on having consistent political strategies. Strategies that don't just change completely every election cycle, but focus on long-term goals, sustained initiatives.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for me. What's next? What does the article see on the horizon for these kinds of competencies?
Well, it suggests we're moving very quickly into what it calls the MEV era, the mobile era.
Yeah.
So future research really needs to look at the competencies needed for mobile communication in public administration, both for public servants and citizens, especially considering how much people value, time and accessibility through their phones.
Right, everything's going mobile. So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's maybe one final thought for our listeners to chew on?
Catalin Vrabie puts forward this idea that a truly credible public servant needs a mix of 3 C's: competence, character, and consistency. But ultimately, the foundation for all of this, for how organizations and society will function effectively in the future, it really comes down to IT education. That's the base.
That's a great point to end on. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into computer competencies for e-governance. We really hope you found these insights useful. And hey, don't forget to like and subscribe to the Smart-EDU Hub channel. That way you'll be the first to catch our new deep dives. Goodbye.